Okay, welcome to session 3. We're going to cover 2 more musical concepts, ties and dots, before we're ready to move on to the next section. Let's talk about ties first. The problem we have is we need to have long notes in music. Now, a whole note will hold for 4 beats, we learned about that, but what if I want a note to hold for 6 beats, or 8, or something beyond a bar line? How do we do that? Well, we cover that problem with a thing called a tie. That arced line that you see over those 2 notes, that is what's called a tie, and it is linking those 2 notes together. So as you're seeing in that first example, the whole note is tied over the bar line to the half note. And how this is played, the half note gets 2 beats, the whole note gets 4 beats. So I add all of those together. I don't replay that half note when I get to it. I just give his 2 beats to the whole note to make a total of 6 beats. See how that works? I'm just tying those 2 notes together. I don't replay that second note, I just add them both together. In example 2, you'll see a quarter note, half note, and then a quarter note that's tied over the bar line to a note of the same pitch. Ties are always to the note of the same pitch. You're never going to see them going between different pitches. If they're going between different pitches, that's what's called a slur, and we don't really see those too much in guitar music. So the tie goes over the bar line with those quarter notes, then another quarter note, and then a half note tied over to a whole note. So if I was to play this, I'm just going to do on a first string E, and I'll play that example 2. Ready? Go. 1, 1, 2, tied over the bar line here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how that works? The next concept we need to talk about is dots. Now, dots add something to the note. Dots add, here's the rule, dots add 1/2 of whatever they're attached to. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at our example. In our half note example, I have a half note with a dot on it. A half note gets 2 beats. The dot, what does the dot get? The dot gets half of whatever it's attached to. So, half note gets 2, the dot would then get 1. So you add them all up together, and that gets 3. Our next example is a whole note. What if I put a dot on a whole note? Usually about this stage, everybody gets it. I get it. A dot adds 1. Well, it's a little bit more to it than that. If it's attached to a half note, it adds 1. If it's attached to a whole note, it adds more than that. Let's figure it out. A dotted whole note, the whole note gets 4. The dot, what does the dot get? Half of whatever it's attached to. Half of 4 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. So a dotted whole note is going to be 6. You're not going to see that very much, but I wanted you to see the difference between the other one. Here's one you're going to see a little bit more. A dotted quarter note. Now think about, what would this be? The quarter note gets 1, and the dot, what would the dot get? The dot would just get a half, because it's half of whatever it's attached to, and it's attached to just 1. So 1 plus a half would be 1.5. And that wouldn't make up a complete beat, but usually you'd see it followed by another 8th note, and that's how they make those rhythms work. And that's ties and dots. Okay, let's talk about 8th notes. Now, 8th notes are part of that group of rhythms that we talked about at the very beginning. Whole notes get 4 beats, half notes get 2 beats, quarter notes get 1 beat, and now we're going to subdivide that 1 beat. We're going to split the 1 beat, and we're going to go to 8th notes, which each get a half a beat. Now, as it's played on the guitar, when you have several of the same note on the same string, you would alternate your picking. Remember what we did in that first session? We did a finger pattern of down, up, down, up. We're going to apply that now when we're working with 8th notes. If the notes are the same pitch, let's say you had a bunch of E's in a row, then instead of just going down, 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 you just go down, up, down, up. So I wouldn't go down, 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 down. I would go down, up, down, up. Now, one more thing about 8th notes. When 8th notes are by themselves, they have a flag on the stem. You have the note head, you have the stem, and they have a little flag on it. When they're together, they're grouped, when there's more than one, whether it's 2 or a group of more, they're grouped together in 2s usually, and they use a beam across the top of them. So that's what you'll see when that beam is. You may be confused about what that might be. Those are just eighth notes tied together. Somebody figured out 150 years ago that when you have a bunch of eighth notes in a row, it's kind of difficult to read them when they have all those flags. So they just beam them together, makes it a little bit easier to read. So let's go through some of the eighth note exercises in your book. Let's look at eighth note exercise number 1. That's on your first E string. Remember we talked about down, up when we get to the eighth notes? Let's play. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Now next note, F. Down, up, down, down, back to E, down, down, up, down, 2. Got it? See how those downs and ups work? Now that really only applies when it's of the note of the same pitch, when you have a bunch of the same note in a row. Now you'll find out really quickly as we go through these exercises, as you're jumping strings and stuff, you really can't hold true to that down and up alternating pattern all the time. It just doesn't work out that way. Your brain will figure that out pretty quickly. But only when you have notes of the same pitch on the same line that you start doing alternating, you'll be a little bit faster doing it that way. Let's do a couple more. Exercise number 2. This one starts on second string, first finger, C. Ready? Play. Rest. Now up to G. And down these notes. Alternating your picking with each one. And rest. Good. Okay, we're going to do exercise 4 now. Okay, I'm going to do it a little bit faster, so you try and do the best you can. Ready? Go. 2, 3, 4. And that's how eighth notes work. Now let's learn a few more notes. Okay, let's talk about the notes on the third string. Remember what the name of that third string is? That's your G. Okay, G is open, and that's to be our first note. The second line on your note music notation is a G. That's this third string open. The next note we have is our second finger. This is our first second finger note we've had. This is an A, second space up. Make sure you're fretting the note nice and close to that fret, not on the fret, right back. So we have G, and we have A. You play with me, G, and now A. Very good. Let's add those to our other notes. We've got G and A, and now let's do B, C, and D on the next string. B, C, D. On the next string, we've got E, F, and G. E, F, and G. Can you go backwards? Can you go backwards the other way? G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G. Very good. Let's do one or two of these third string exercises. Let's do the first one. Number 1. You ready? Starts on a G, third string open. Ready, play. G, 2, now an A, 2, then 3 G's. 1, 2, now A, make good contact with that A, and back to G. Great. Let's go to number 2. Throw in some eighth notes on it. Ready, play. Okay, let's talk about the notes on the 4th string. We're going to cover 3 more notes now on the 4th string. The open string is a D. Now, look at the music notation. It's going to be underneath the staff. This is our first one that's been out of our staff range. The D is going to be below the staff, and that's 4th string open D. The next note is with our 2nd finger, E. And the 3rd note is with our 3rd finger, F. Let's do those again. D, E, and F. Let's try a couple of these 4th string exercises. If you look at the first one, it starts out with a D on a half note. Let's play. Ready? Go. Then E, then an F, 2, 3, 4. Stays on that F. 1, 2. Very good. Let's check out number 2. Ready? Play. Now look at all these Fs. Make sure to alternate. Down, up, down, up. There you go. Just for fun, let's check out number 4 at the bottom of the page. This one, it gets quite intense with all of the notes in there, but I think you'll do it. Ready? Play. Quarter note here, then back down. Good. Let's try that one more time. It's a good exercise to try and say the notes too when you're playing them. It helps your brain connect where they're at, especially with these newer notes. Ready? Go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now we come back down. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D. Now at this stage, probably some of you're probably going to start misfiring a little bit. You're going for the 3rd string, you hit the 4th string. You're going for the 2nd string, you hit the 3rd string. That is perfectly natural right here in this stage of development. Just make sure you're bracing. You've got your bracing happening, solid, and that you go slow enough. Some of these exercises, I may be going faster than you're at right now. Just stop the tape, practice it a little bit on your own, and then you'll be ready to go when it's time for us to play it together. Okay, welcome to the guitar tips section of session 3. We're going to talk about what I think is one of the most practical things and helpful things you can do to improve yourself as a player is working with a metronome. Metronome is a little thing like this. They have also ones that are the tick-tock kind that go back and forth. They both do the same thing. It just clicks off the tempo. Okay? And working with a metronome is, although frustrating at first, is very, very good for helping you settle down your time, settle down your rhythm in these different exercises. So let me just show you how this works. I'm going to turn it on, and this is clicking off. Let's see, what does that say? 72 beats per minute. And so if I was playing along with it, let's say I'm playing a C chord. 2, 3, 4. Say I want to do half notes. Quarter notes. Good. See how that works? It really forces you to be honest. Sometimes if you're sitting and practicing, just sitting on the couch practicing, you'll kind of let yourself get sloppy and you won't be real steady. And you'll just kind of be doing them completely unsteady. A metronome won't let you do that. It kind of forces you to be in tempo. And when it's time to speed up, I raise it up a little bit. Let's raise it up to, let's say, 92. Now I'm going to do the same thing. C chord. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes. Quarter notes. I can switch between chords. I can do single notes. Working with a metronome. Probably one of the best things you can do. Next thing I want to talk about in our guitar tips is holding your notes out. If you have a really, really long note, let's say a G here on the first string, and I need to hold that out. If I've got a tie and I'm holding into the next measure, I've got the guitar naturally decays. It's one of the instruments that doesn't really hold. You keep having to refresh the note. So, being that it has a very quick decay time, when you play that G, you really got to keep that finger on to get the most that you can out of that note while it's playing. You don't want to just play it. If it's a whole note, just play it and then go on to the next note. You got to hold these notes out. Keep the pressure on through those low notes. Also, now that we've introduced some new notes, you'll notice that we've got two of different kinds of notes. Now we've got two Ds. We've got a low and a high. We've got two E's, a low and a high. We've got two F's. And the last one we have two of is G's. G, G. Now, if you're writing in notes, and I would encourage you to write in notes if you need to, sometimes we get into the habit of just looking at the tops of the lines and looking at the notes that we've written in, and we'll miss whether it's a low G or a high G. How am I supposed to keep that straight? You got to look at the music. If that note is in the staff, second line, that's the lower G. If it's up on top of the staff, on that top space, then that's the upper G. So you got to make sure I always be looking at the music. Now we're getting into these doubles of notes. By the end, you'll have 2 and 3 of all these notes. They're called octaves. So you'll have many different octaves by the time we're done. Okay? Now, here's your assignment for this session, the things that you need to cover. I want you to do all of the first through the fourth string exercises in your book. Play through our songs that I have listed out there. Yankee Doodle, When the Saints Go Marching In, and Love Me Tender. Now, we'll work on those in the workshop time, so I'll see you there. Okay, welcome to the workshop time. This is where I think the work gets done. A lot of guys dream about being a guitar player, but here, when you're actually doing the practicing, is what separates dreamers from guys that actually become guitar players. So let's start going through these exercises. Remember what we talked about last time. We have ties, we have dots. Ties tie over the bar line, and you add those two notes together. Dots, what do dots do? Dots add half of whatever they're attached to. Mainly you're going to see them attached to half notes, so it would be a dot attached to a half note would actually get 3 beats. Okay, let's start going through some of these exercises. I'm going to work with a metronome like we talked about in our guitar tips section, just so you can see how working with the metronome really pays off. My metronome is set to about 66 beats per minute right now. And let's go through third string exercises. We're going to go through the first one. Remember our notes on the third string? G and A. Let's play it together. Number 1, third string exercises. Ready? Go. There you go. Let's do number 2. Ready? Play. Very good. Okay, now let's do number 3. Ready? Play. Rest. Rest. Number 4, this one's in 3/4 time. I've switched time signatures on you. It's not always going to be in 4/4 time. Some songs are going to be in 3. This has 3 beats per measure. Let's do this one. Ready? Play. I. Very good. Let's crank it up a little bit. Try that last one more time. Now I'm at about 92. That may be too fast. Let's go back to 80. Number 4. Ready, go. Good. Now let's talk about 4th string exercises. Remember our notes on the 4th string? We have D, 2nd finger E, and 3rd finger F. Okay? Let's go through all of our notes just while I'm thinking about it. D, E, F, next note, next line, G, A, next string, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's go backwards. Fourth string exercises number 1. Go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Number 2. Ready, play. Remember to be alternating your picking. Let's do number 3. Ready, go. And last one, number 4. Ready, play. Quarter note. Let's do it again. Let me crank up the tempo a little bit, and let's do that number 4 one more time, a little bit faster. This is back at 88. 1, 2, ready, play. Do it again. Very good. Let's move on to our songs. Okay, now let's go through some of the songs that we need to cover for next time. First one is going to be Yankee Doodle. Okay? Yankee Doodle. That was the first song I learned when I was learning guitar. There's Yankee Doodle. Here we go. Let me flip on the metronome here. We'll go at a pretty nice, slow, even pace for this one. You ready? Starts on that C. Ready, play. Next line. There you go. Let's do it one more time. Give you another shot at it. Ready, play. Pretty good. Let's move on to the next song. When the Saints Go Marching In. Okay, now this one starts with a rest. So you want to make sure that you don't play on that first rest. It's a little bit confusing. I'll count it off for you. Let's play it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here here comes a tie. Hang on to it. Keep that pressure down. 1, 2. Here's a dot. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 1. Rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, very good. Let me turn this on. Let's play it one more time. Speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, when the Saints go marching in. 2, ready, and rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one we need to do is Love Me Tender, or Orally is the older name it was called. Let's put about right there. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's repeat this. Next line, ready, go. Two, three, four. Two, three, four. Good. Speed it up a little bit. Try it one more time. Ready. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, 3, again. 2, next line, go. This is the easy part. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All the practice you can get is really going to start paying off as we're coming toward the end of learning these notes on the 3rd and the 4th string. So, get ready, and we will see you next time.